Okay, so you guys are up to speed about the almost $1 billion settlement. All right, well, good for them then. No reason to hate on any of them. Wish them all the success and best. And people, their loved ones died, and I don't know how these companies came up with so much money to honor this 997 million, almost $1 billion in settlement. I don't know how that came about. Seems like they wanted to avoid, and I don't know why, court cases. The ward. I mean, when Pinto did the calculations, Ford, they calculated how much a human life was worth, and it was based on how much life they had left in them, and basically it averaged out. I don't know, it was 30 grand back then or something. I forget. Did in sociology back in the day, and they decided it was more economical to do, instead of doing recalls, to pay for the deaths that were being brought to their attention. It was Pinto Madness, I think it was something like that. The Now, for referencing the this structure, the people were older, so you think they would say, okay, well, how much life did they have left, and each one gets a value, and that's how cold-blooded it is. But yet they went right up to the top. Even the judges, they stated, was surprised by the amount of money, and that's some weird stuff. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they're allowed to roll it back in if they pay, roll it right back into the premiums of the other. My guess is to roll it right back into the premiums of the other businesses, saying, okay, we paid this much out, and now we need to roll it back in and jack up our premiums, because insurance companies, they don't give in. They don't give in like that, and they don't go right to the top unless there's something in it for them. So again, I wish success to the all the survivors, even the one guy that was saying he didn't really care about the other people. You know, you know what? That was his emotion at the time. Maybe it's his permanent emotion. Maybe that's that. I'm sure he won't send me a dime for my effort here. I don't think anyone will send me a dime that was for my efforts. But let's bring this. That this $1 billion they're going to get. I would be totally surprised if anyone did. Now, let's talk about. I want you to think of the Nears, right? The Nears. I don't know how you say their name, but let's go Near this way, right? The mama bear Near. Remember, she heard noises, and I told you about how I think I got there through water hammer, and right about here is where I think the fracture probably started, and then went along that plane, and we get this other fracture on the back wall here by the planter box because of cantilever effect of the reinforcement. All right, I'll give you the short version of it real fast. That's that fracture here would be here. I'm sorry, correction. Let's back it up. It would be right by the planter boxes. And I explained the reactions over there because of the planter box, the column being on there and the rotation, and how it gets the planter box off on an angle. I explained that in different videos right there also. So this is going to be the quick down and dirty start to end deal almost. Now to the mama bear was where she heard the noise. She went out to the lobby. So let's put lobby internal here. I know this is high in the arrow's perspective, so you're going to have to visualize that. I just want you to be internal to the building, past the elevator shaft. The elevator shaft is here. It is here. So you have to. Mama bear was not. She was back here in the where the heart is. And when she heard the noise, so we're going to do a plane. If you look here, there's the plane of the structure, meaning this is the part that sticks out at the car area. So I'm going to back that up times 2. I'm going to put see the wall right here, the structure, the windows, the glass, the elevator shaft. It appears to be in plane with the window glass, or roughly thereabouts. So I'm going to elevate that up to here so you can get an overview. I'm going to change colors on it, so I'm going to grab a red, I believe. Okay, this works. All right, here's the heart. Mama bear's the heart, right? She hears the noise, and she immediately turns because she heard the noise coming, and she runs to her family. No, that's a false statement on my part. Wait a minute. She hears the noise, and she knows that it's coming from beyond the elevator shaft right here, and so she goes running to to the rec room to look out because that's what she could see. No, that's false. Hold on. There's a door right here. There's a doorway right here. And Mama Bear's, so elevating the door up here on the other side of the elevator shaft, which is here. She runs over to the door to look out. No, she doesn't do that. Mama Bear runs to the exercise room to look out because that's where she could see, heard the noise. No. So recall this. She ran towards the noise. Now remember, there's a lot of noise. So the first bang you hear, you can echolocate it, if you will, with your brain. Let's use echolocation, right? So you can locate it, go, oop, I know which direction it's coming. That's the amygdala thing I talked about. So she's going to go, and then all the noise after that, it came to a stop. It was still coming at her, the noise. She probably would have still kept running towards it. So that was a huge bang she heard. The bang, she was able to echolocate it, if you will, and she decided, the amygdala said, it's coming from here, go get data on it. This is why she ran down the hallway here, made a left turn, and looked out the window there in the lobby area and saw the cars were down on the ground. This is important because it's going to tell you which direction it came from. Now, let's keep in mind, let's do some little debunking and noise. She's facing the person. The person is, I think, here. So her right ear is here. So let's do a right ear, and her left ear is here. Let's assume that she's, facts not in evidence. Let's assume that's her head, and that's her right ear. So right ear and left ear, that's L. As you look at it upside down, she's facing this direction. So this is north, this would be the south, this would be her hiney. So this would be her arse, right? And that's the chest, obviously. So you hear the bang. She echolocates it back to right off the right ear. And I'm assuming that they were facing each other in this capacity when she was behind that glass, the security guard. Initially, we might assume that she's facing the security guards here and that the ladies here and right ear is over here and left ear is here. I'm facing her in this scenario. I'm facing this direction, and it matters. Remember, they hired FIU lady to do the investigation, and she's way out of her depth, right? Because she doesn't know which way you were facing. All this stuff matters. She may watch the video now and understand it, but it matters. Okay, so. Oh, the other thing is interesting. Isn't it amazing? They're paying out, and yet they still want to get to the bottom of it, if you will, through this whole deal. I mean, get to the bottom of it to what end? You've already paid. There's going to be, as I stated before, when someone asked me who's going to be arrested, I said, well, based on FIU bridge collapse, no one's going to be arrested. Florida doesn't seem to arrest people for negligent homicide. They don't seem to really be down with that. They're more like, hey, if you pay, then you can go away. You can walk free. Even if you kill 100 people, you can walk away. There'll be no homicide investigation. No procedure forward to lock people up. And apparently no license is lost at this time. Okay, at this time, as far as I know. All right, so right ear, left ear. So she hears the bang. She doesn't feel like it's that big enough where she needs to get the people out yet. The data doesn't say that, right? The data says, what the hell was that? She turns, and there's the arrow here where she runs and goes this direction. All right, so there's the arrow. She turns, runs this direction. Now she has data. Oh, this is bad. The garage is collapsed. It's nighttime, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 1:30 something in the morning. She turns, runs down there, goes back to her kids, meets them at the door. The kids, by then, also heard the bang. They look out the door trying to get information from Mama Bear. Obviously, they're not escaping yet. And as the daughter stated, and I gave that how important the daughter's story was, is that Mama Bear did not observe. Let me get rid of the pen. Good. The daughter now, she's in the shower. When she comes out, she observes ceiling materials falling down on her, which tells you that Mama Bear first investigated this area here as the main primary hit, I believe. And then it propagated to the building shaking KLM, enough so where disturbance of the slab allowed for separation in the slab to some degree, or deflection in the slab, which ejected part of the sealing materials, which might be popcorn ceilings. I'm not sure in that room. Onto that she saw actively coming down and towards her. So it's already at the building, at the internal building. Then it stabilized for a moment through equilibrium, right? It found it was an active equilibrium. I call it what do I call it, guys? And I trigger a lot of engineers with it. Aggressive or progressive creep, accelerated creep is what I call it. Meaning you got some delay here going on, but it's the slow motion of it. You can visually see it, if you will, happening in time. If you had cameras on it, you would see it pause a little bit, maybe slow down, but there's still stresses in there and still a forward action going on. There's still a momentum going on, but even though you can't observe it, that allowed time for Cassandra to make the phone call, maybe other people to make phone calls. And because remember, the desk lady had phone calls, but she could have been getting them over here from the main building. All right, back to the mama bear. Mama bear, this building being so rigid over here, might not have felt any vibration underneath her feet, as the son reported. But his story is so iffy because he made himself out to be a hero later on. But I'm going to leave him alone for this one. Let's stick with the daughter with the ejection stuff. And we go for Cassandra, knowing that the sinkhole, she stated, observed from her point of view, and knowledge that she calls it a sinkhole, which made perfectly good sense to think that. She was in outstanding shape. She was still taking on data, including from her husband, to help her process the data. Now, he should not feel guilty for this. Hopefully, he'll try to get a Cassandra Stratton law passed where, with this money, that people hopefully will bond together, which probably not. To say get a law passed that says, all renters and etc. That you have a right to know. You have a right to know as renters the structure of the building, and you have a right to exit at any time, including the maintenance. For the owners, tie it in big. Go big. Go big. Now, we know that they stopped most of this, but I already mentioned they would anyway. This is all about real estate and maintaining the real estate values, not about safety, public first. There's public safety is not first. It's municipalities' pockets are first. Their taxes are first. You know that because when we had this C thing going on, everybody still had to pay real estate taxes. Everybody. Now, I don't think there's a place in the entire country that said, you know what, we're going to cut you down to 50%. They cut some water bills, I think, a little bit. They cut a lot of things, but the one thing they didn't cut were the real estate taxes. I don't know of a single location in the entire country they gave an emergency order that said, and real estate taxes, no. Right now, no. I know I didn't get out of it. I know that I had people not paying left and right. I know a guy that had 10 houses. He lost everything because they didn't have to pay him anymore, and he still had to pay taxes. He lost it all. He died shortly thereafter. Everything. His wife left him because, financially they were ruined now, and, he wasn't viable anymore. And he died, I'm speaking to, all right, I'm going to leave that alone now because someone else is listening too that it's related. But giving a shout out to him in a respectful way, saying how this thing is more than what you think. This is all about money. So now, again, the payout, they're going to, you can bet they probably found a way to roll it back into the existing customers. All right, well, they're still proceeding. That's another video. I have a lot of images to share from my man, my geotechnical engineer buddy here. He sent me he's down there, and he sent me a lot of images. I'll go over them another time with you. I'm still processing the imagery. It's a big rabbit hole. They're just collecting data. Maybe they're doing it for their sale, to stabilize the sale, what they can build on. That data, they'll be able to build on it literally as far as permits wise and figuring out what to do structurally, including the stability of that soil and land, so they then don't disturb 88 Park, the one next door that was claimed to disturb this structure here. So they then don't disturb when they rebuild. Don't disturb that property because now it's a catch-22. It's like, haha, now you're building, you're going to mess us up. So maybe that works that way. But now back to this again. So the end of this is Mama Bear ran this direction. That was the first result. If you guys want to prove a theory, you want me to, I'll prove a theory to you rather. You have a loved one. I want you to get up in the middle of the night while they're still sleeping and you say their name and you notice they don't wake up. That's cool. Go to the corner of the room in the dark. Have a book with you. And drop the book. Now the person was dead asleep. And I'm saying the amygdala is first. And the amygdala never sleeps. It's always paying attention and protecting the human. Drop a book in the corner there where you stand. Make it loud enough noise where it drops. And don't do a thing. And you'll see the person wake up and turn towards that corner where you're located. Or they'll wake up and they'll start trying to take on data again as their amygdala is two of them. Amygdalas are trying to process where the location was. Now, they were dead asleep. How would they know where to turn? Because the amygdala doesn't sleep. It's always protecting the human. And even though you're resting, that amygdala is paying attention to what's going around it, noises and all. It accepts some noises as normal. For example, the house may creak, the door may rattle, the window may rattle through wind in the wintertime. It'll accept it. Now, no wind, and it rattles, it's a red alert time. Wind blows, rattling, you can sleep. So it has to be, the amygdala has to accept the data as is. That's why you have problems sleeping in a strange place, because those noises, the amygdala doesn't know how to put you at rest, because it doesn't know these noises yet, unless you tell it. These noises are okay. You can rest with these noises. All right, so in this case, the amygdala gets the data. It hears the big bang. It goes towards the bang to get more data right here. The frontal cortex says, let's get more data. Mama Bear runs over here. Remember, she also had the loud banging, the knocking noises that made her irritate her to the point where she went to the front desk to figure out what's going on. That was her trying to process the data. Now, over here, but she put it above her skull, above her head. Remember that's pipe, I think it's a rattle, water hammer. And that would be from possibly some deflection and straining of the pipe. And then we get water hammer and the pipes banging. Post hoc, ad hoc. They're not related sometimes, but in this case, it could be related. So again, she runs over to following the arrow at the very top of the screen. She runs that direction, takes on the data. Oh shit, she runs back. Gets the kid. Let's go now. She thinks it's an earthquake because she does observe the falling deck here. We don't know to what extent, but she says she observed the falling here. We have Cassandra Stanton noticing what she identifies as a sinkhole. The son, we have him, a near son, claiming a few different things after the fact, not immediately, and cleanly giving up his data. Let me put contradiction in some of his data. All right, so I'm going to end this video with hopefully this gives peace to the family. It's I don't know how they're going to divide it. Obviously, the younger people with more careers and making money have a higher value, dollar value is the way they look at it with these damn taxes. But just think about it. I mean, how much value do I have if I'm on my deathbed? Say I'm 99 years old and I'm pretty much stay in the house all day long. I'm waiting to die. Do I have the same value as a 28-year-old that may not be working but may go to work? Who has more value? Well, they have a lot of time left on their clock, theoretically. And I've got a little time left, and I'm already done my time. So my value, I'm worth a lot less in value. I'm not, So what do you guys think? Now, of course, if I'm some great 99-year-old investor and I'm making moves financially, even though I'm not working out there, I'm counting. Then that's different. But so it counts. Do people have money making money, or so? Are they still making money? They're still producing. Yeah, it's insensitive by the time I learned it. So now, again, Mama Bear runs this direction. She observes the cars down. So the amygdala do the trick about the bed thing, and you'll see you won't be wrong. If you hear big bang, you pretty much always turn to the direction of the bang. You hear an airplane going over, you pretty much can triangulate an airplane, which way to start looking for an airplane even. The amygdala is beautiful. The brains and ears are able to triangulate pretty damn good. Direct which direction to start looking for noise. So let's assume Mama Bear looked the right direction and she went here. Let's assume that Cassandra Stratton heard the banging noise too. She looked out the window. The lady who woke up in the middle of the night thinks it was on the sixth floor, thinks it was a revelation of some type. That was just her amygdala waking her up, and she went right to where she heard the noise, cracked the door. The son said he stated he went to the back door. Don't know how much we can, and he went out onto the porch or whatever, the back door, and looked and noticed the butterfly down, and he used his hands, working with that. I'm not going to leave out the security guard and all, because she went from okay walking around taking videos and everything to being crippled, right? So that's another story altogether. I won't be getting a dime from her, obviously. Anyway, so we go this way. I got to say this stuff. It's my sportiness. All right, so we have the triangulation of the sound, and everyone trying to triangulate the sound puts us out here. Everyone triangulating the sound. We've got Mama Bear, Cassandra, the son, if we count him, all putting it outside, looking for the triangulation of the. They triangulate to here. All right, Mama Bear triangulates even tighter to over here. Oh, I didn't finish that. She was behind a solid wall system here, and a separate wall system. So, did she feel vibration under her feet? And that would be what that lady, who I believe is unqualified, unless she asks for my help, then all of a sudden she's a genius. But the one from FIU, she's unqualified to be doing this type of investigation. Now, of course, if she follows this line of questioning that I'm working on, she's going to get smarter and tune her up, just like we tuned up NIST when I showed them the crack over here. All of a sudden, they said, please send us photographs. Now, keep this in mind, too, that NIST is running, this courts are running a parallel investigation, and I think even more in depth than NIST, because NIST is, they got their data and they're leaving. Whereas this other one, they're doing exploratory holes, walls, all types of stuff here. They're doing a lot more per court instructions. We'll get to that. I'm going to end it with, don't forget about that shelf there. See the shelf? The shelf right there. The tip of the arrow. The tip is pointing it out. Right there. That's the shear plane that went over to the structure. This is the part of the structure that stayed behind. Specifically right here where the earthquake person, whatever her name is, I forget her name now, out of California, whatever, in Washington. The professor there, Lehman. All right, Dawn, and I get her, Dawn L. Lehman, I think I said R. No, I did it, Dawn R. Lehman. I think I did double down on the Lehman part, the L. Anyway, Dawn Lehman, she right here states that that's where the computer program says it started. Times 2 or 3 computer programs that it started from inside the gym area, and yet the gym area is identified as still being there because the butterfly over the slab goes like this, and then it goes up. The slab in the doorway there is still present in the imagery, and the slab that leans against the wall is leaning not on just a pile, but I believe on top of the structure, still the main structure. Dawn Lehman has it shearing from the wall system, and there's a column here, and that's not the way, when I zoomed in and showed you this in another video, that that's sitting on top of the slab system there, and it ramps up. Now watch this. Okay, so look at it real closely, and I'll end it with this right there. This is the impact of the wall over here. I believe the wall that came from the other side of the building. It's elevator wall. The stairwell came down to impact that. Also, it's a big slab of it standing up here. But right here is that jaggedy edge, and then we come over and there's a jaggedy edge there. So it was not. It's further out. So this image right here can show you that it's further out than the wall system was in place. That's an impact that sheared it. That sheared it there. That it didn't shear from the wall. That you could see the part of the wall system still in place, right here inside that room. And then there's the floor system, and there's the other floor system here. There's a doorway here, and a doorway here. I'm sorry, so it's behind that. It's in a hole there. Let's go backwards. That part of the slab here did impact, caused part of that shearing action along with this guy here, this big giant slab there. All right, hopefully that addresses quite a few things. You guys look deep into it. I'll freeze the screen there. Take care. Loading the video. Bye.